Today, when I was reading the Murli, this word children caught my attention. And for so many years, every day Baba says, sweet children. And I was just thinking that when Baba addresses me, so why does he use this word children? And have I become a child? Because, when we are in this body conscious world, then you are always in a hurry to grow up. Yes, and you always learn, grow up, grow up, grow up. Everybody is saying grow up. And then you lose what you had as a child. And a child is capable of faith. I think the most the profound quality that a child has is his capacity to have faith. And I think that as we grow up, we lose that capacity to have faith. Yes, and as a child, you have faith, and you trust your parents, you trust. So there is this, it's just your quality, You are not assessing anybody whether they are worthy of your faith. You have faith. And a child knows also. So have you seen children? They can select whose arms they want to be in, and they would just not come to your arms when you're not in a good mood, or they just know. So they have this intuitive capacity, and they have this faith, and when they have faith, they just surrender to you. And a child doesn't judge you or gauge you whether you're worthy of your surrender. And even if they do, it's a very subtle process. It's not gross. It doesn't come from you, the way you look or the way you dress or whether you talk in a certain way. No, it is a very subtle assessment that the child does, and then they surrender to you. And that's the most beautiful quality of a child. The capacity to have faith and the capacity to surrender. And I think that as you grow and as you become more and more body conscious, so basically Baba tells us that the sanskars are there in the soul, but as the body grows bigger, those sanskars emerge. Yes, so those sanskars of not that sanskar which stops you from surrendering, or that sanskar which stops you from having faith, that kind of emerges as we as the body grows older, and we become more and more body conscious. And then individually we are not capable of genuine love or faith or surrender. Yes, and it becomes very different. And I have seen that even when in the Lokik world people talk about marriage, they say that marry young, because if you get married at an older age, then it's very difficult to surrender because somewhere this whole institution of marriage is thriving on surrender, because if you don't surrender and you don't allow the other one to rule you, then how do you stay happily married? So I think that's also a very important aspect of this whole institution of marriage. So they would always ask you to marry young, because once you start using your brains, you cannot be happily married, because marriage is not logical or profitable or in any way it's not a good idea. So but then when you are naive, you can surrender. So this, there is this childlike quality of surrender and faith. And also, although that because of this quality, children are very vulnerable also, because we live in a world where the basic sense of respect for children or their innocence is not there. So these days, this childlike quality makes you vulnerable, and then you sometimes think whether it's a good quality or a bad quality, and then you are always in a hurry to make your children grow up and understand the world, because you don't want them to be vulnerable. So we are living in a strange world where just like every other quality, every other good quality, there is this strange relationship which we share with this childlike quality of faith and surrender also. But I think that maybe in the world it is questionable and all of that stuff, but when we come into Gyan, although we are not children by body, we are grown-ups and we are of a certain age, but it is very important to bring out that quality of faith and surrender which children are capable of. Because I don't know if without being a child you can recognize Baba or you can belong to Baba. So this body consciousness of being this body consciousness that I'm not a child anymore, this also can be a very big roadblock in your belonging to Baba. And if you're not capable of having faith in Baba and faith in Baba's magic and faith in Baba's knowledge, then probably you will not be able to experience the beauty of all of it. So Baba's knowledge is wonderful. Baba uses this word wonderful. Baba is wonderful, we are wonderful, the drama is wonderful, yes, so everything is wonderful. But can we experience the wonder without being a child? So we are not capable of wonder once we are in body consciousness. You start questioning everything that's wonderful, and we have come up with this phrase which says it is too good to be true. And with that phrase you have kind of blocked yourself that anything that is too good is not true. But Baba is wonderful, knowing myself is wonderful, being myself is wonderful, and knowing Baba's love is wonderful, knowing Baba's inheritance is wonderful, everything is wonderful. But I don't know if we can tap into that wonder if we don't become a child. And sometimes logic just have you heard that expression, you kill the joke? So sometimes we kind of with this whole logic that we apply, we kill the wonder also. So we kind of analyze it so much that we are not able to see the wonder of what Baba is giving us. And this is why Baba always tells us that you have to have a heart to understand knowledge, to appreciate knowledge and Baba. You have to have a heart. Just the head is not enough. And when you become very body conscious, we are all heads, not hearts. And that becomes a very big problem. And so you have to today ask yourself, am I a child? So can you switch into that child? So at least when you sit before Baba, just allow yourself to be that child. Although we have been trained to block that child within us, because everybody told us that growing up is the good thing to do. But I think that we have to allow that child to emerge, and that child is there in everyone. But I think you're very scared to allow that child to emerge, and you are scared to allow that innocence to emerge, because we've always had this very antagonistic relationship with the child within. Yes, you want to be the child, but every time you wanted to be the child, you were stopped from being the child. So everybody said, don't be such a child, and don't be so gullible, and don't be so, otherwise people will take advantage of you, and this and that. And then we stop being the child. But I think when we come to Baba, we have to just let our guard down and just be that child. And when you become that child, I think you can take what Baba is giving you. Otherwise it becomes very difficult. And I had a very difficult time yesterday with one brother who would just not allow me to allow me to talk to that child within him. And then I told him, if you don't become a child, how will the parent give you anything? So you have to allow Baba to give you, the child, everything. And then he would just be so stiff, and he would just put all those barriers and stop everything. So every time he liked something, he would just start creating. I thought he would just consciously create a doubt about it. So if he felt something good, he would start applying logic to it. But why? If you felt good, you felt good. Why don't you cherish that moment? And when you come to Baba, Baba makes us experience the magic of purity, the magic of peace, the magic of Baba's love, the magic of the magic of knowing that you're going to heaven. And then we suddenly we start, because of that old habit, we start rationalizing it and killing that magic. And we start telling ourselves that maybe this is too good to be true, and then maybe this is not true. And we just have to stick to whatever is practical and real in this world. So I think it's very important to become a child and ask yourself today very deeply, am I the child who is able to receive whatever my Father is giving me? Yes. And parents also feel very responsible towards children. And once you start knacking your brains, parents leave you. They just abandon you because they know that now this child is not going to listen to me. And I think it's the same with Baba also. So when you keep your heart open, Baba also makes you experience many wonders. But once you shut your heart, once you start in that body conscious manner, you start telling, I'm an adult and I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that, then I think you shut out that magic that Baba can give you also. And I don't know if all of you have seen Dadi Janki, because she left the body, but Dadi Janki is a perfect example of a child, Baba's child. And you could see that innocence in her face at the age of 100. And that's how a child looks like, you know. When you are Baba's child, you are always a child. And although, you know, you are a knowledgeful child, you're not a gullible child, you're a knowledgeful child. But for Baba, you are a child. So, you know, you're very knowledgeful, you are very powerful, but then when you are with Baba, you're just a child. And I think that it's very important when I'm sitting in Amrit Vela, when I'm remembering Baba, I switch to that child within. And I just allow myself to be capable of love, faith, surrender, and all of those magical qualities that children have. Okay, so this is something that struck me, so I shared. And today, Baba is asking us a question: are you cool? So, are you cool? Baba is asking us. And you know, this word cool is so much in fashion, and people say, I'm cool, and we are cool, and this and that. But Baba says today that you cannot be cool without knowledge. Because you know, you have that latent heat inside which can just go off any moment. and you know, I'll tell you one thing. So there was this one lady, she came some days back, and she said that Didi, for the first time she visited a center, and she said, I've been married for 27 years, and now my husband is, you know, interested in another woman, and I'm feeling very self-deprecated, and I'm feeling like I have no worth, and I'm feeling like, who am I, and what is my value, or where do I belong, or this house is not mine, and I want to leave the house, and this and that. So I said, so you know, even if you are married for 27 years, you still are a nobody if you have lust and attachment in you. Yes, you can be on the streets just like that, because you know, there is no self honor. It is dependent on the other. And I said, and I asked her, is your husband asking you to go out? So she said no. I said, is he mistreating you? No. Then why, what is hurting you? So she said, the fact that he is interested in another woman. So I said, how does that make you any lesser? I mean, that's his problem. He has that sanskar, so he is interested in another person. But then why does it affect your life? You are the same person, you are who you are, and you have built that house, you are, you know, you have, that's your family, you have invested in it, you stay proudly in it. And if there is an issue, he drives you out or something, you can take recourse to legal action or any action, and that's your right, you stay in that house. Why do you want to leave the house? So she said, because he is interested in another woman. So I said, he is interested in another woman, why does that bother you? So you see that my identity is dependent on another person's sexual interest in me. Because I am this, you know, this one full of this, what do you say, these belief systems based on vices. We are living in Ravan Rajya, and in Ravan Rajya, anybody's interest in your body defines how valuable you are. And if somebody is not interested in your body, then suddenly you are not valuable. And somebody is interested in another person's body, then you are not valuable. What does that mean even? And I said that, you see, if you are living in this belief system, then you will, even after 27 years of marriage, somebody has the power to hurt you so much. And how do you ensure freedom for a soul who is under the influence of vices? So, lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed, and all the belief systems they bring with them, you are a slave to them. And how can you choose to be free and peaceful and happy? Because people, places, and things are holding the key to your happiness. And once they switch off the button, you are miserable. So Baba says that you are so this is how it is. So we have to understand that when there is lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, and when there is this desire to you give importance to when you are under the influence of all the belief systems that come from these vices. So it's not just the vice, it's a whole lot of the culture that is built around these vices. And then these vices will tell you that your worth is dependent on the fulfillment of these vices. And if these vices are not fulfilled, then you are not worthy enough. So this is why there is no self-esteem, there is no swaman, because all your swaman is dependent on how many people are looking at your body, and how many are saying we can't live without you, and how many are saying and what kind of wealth and property you have, or how many people give you respect, or how many people tell you namaste when you go out. So if you are living this kind of a life, how can you be cool? You cannot be cool, because you're like this, what do you say, you're this barood, this inflammatory material, and anybody can just light a matchstick and set you on fire anytime. So after 27 years, the husband set her on fire. So because she is that vulnerable. So I asked her, so I said, so your only identity is that he's interested in your body, and if he's not interested in your body, then there's a huge identity crisis, is it? So she said, I really don't understand what you're saying, because this is how we have been trained to think, and this is how we have always believed life works. So I said, yes, so it's time to check those belief systems, because you can't live like this. And these days, you see, people are, so parents are deriving their sense of self from the fact that children are attached to them. Yes, so when a child is born, the parent thinks this is my world, and they start attaching their identity to the child's attachment to them. And then suddenly the child has a new toy, and they start getting attached to them. And the child is not interested in you, and they are not craving for you, they are not running after you, they are not moving in circles in and around you. And then you start questioning your identity, that all this while I was the father, the mother, and now my child doesn't need me. But the thing is, that child has a sanskar of attachment, and now he is attached to someone else, so they will not look at you. And if your identity is based on somebody's attachment towards you, you're going to suffer big time. Because anybody who has a sanskar of attachment, they will not stay attached to you forever. They will find another person and get attached to them. and create an illusion there that they are better than you. But nobody is better than anybody. It's just that a person has this sanskar that once they are attached to you, then they are attached to someone else, and they whisper the same sweet nothings in another person's ears, and this is how it goes on. And it has got nothing to do with you. But if you are under the influence of vices and living with this programming that, I am as worthy as, the fulfillment of my lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, and all the belief systems that come with it, then you will suffer at every instance. Every change will make you suffer. And Baba says that how can you be cool like that? You cannot be cool like that. And Baba says the soul is designed to be cool. The soul is designed to be, at peace and in happiness and experiencing pure joy all the time. But how do you do that? When you descend the pyre of lust. So when you leave that pyre of vices, so when you embrace purity, when you embrace the fact that attachment is a sin, and you try to come to that place where you are deriving all your self-worth from your spiritual identity and your relationship with Baba. So that is when you can be cool. Otherwise you can't be cool. I just told you, after 27 years of marriage also, somebody lights a matchstick, you just blow off. That's how it goes. So this is how we are living, and Baba says you are designed to be cool, so let's just be cool now. So and you can be cool only when you descend the pyre of lust, Kam Chitta. So because the first vice that enters the soul is lust. Lust is called a pyre. So it's Kam Chitta and Gyan Chitta. So it is Kam Chitta on which when you are on Kam Chitta, then you lose all your spiritual capacities and all your sense of self-worth. And then through Gyan Chitta, you have to get it back. So just know who you are, know who you belong to, churn it enough, remember Baba, and in that you will lose these things, these 5 vices and all the belief systems that come with it. So this is something that we have to think about being cool. And you cannot be cool when you have vices within. And just saying I am cool will not help. Yes, will not help, because these days, everybody is saying I am cool, we are cool together, everything is cool. No, nothing is cool, and you are also not cool, because until and unless there are vices, you get rid of the vices, there cannot be anything that is cool inside you. So this is something. And then Baba says that you are cooking chapatis and you are doing your business, and all that also the soul is doing through the body. Yes, so the Baba says that the soul cooks chapatis through the body, and the soul is doing business through the body, and the soul is body conscious, so you do everything which is physical through the body. Yes, but now Baba says, now you, the soul, have to also do this subtle business, this spiritual business. And in any case, whenever you are engaging in any physical actions also, at that time also there is a being, thinking, all that is going on, isn't it? So your vibrations, your thoughts, your attitude, your consciousness, they are always there. But in that, when you're body conscious, at that time your spiritual business is in loss always. So you are earning profit outside and your spiritual business is going downhill. So this is why in the world everybody is working, earning, toiling hard, but then at the end of the day they are getting depleted and depressed and anxious and not feeling mentally well. Why? Because they are taking care of the physical business but not the spiritual business. Yes, so you are focusing on how many chapatis you made, you're focusing on how many rupees or dollars you earned, but you're not focusing on what sanskars you created while you did that, and what are the good wishes you created, or what are the other thoughts you created. So you're not focusing on your spiritual business. And now Baba says that I don't stop you from doing the physical work. And Baba says, I do not expect you to take your children and come live in the center also. So there was this Mata and her husband called, and he said, he was shouting at the, he was just shouting and screaming, and then he said, I'm very afraid, I know that she will leave the house and she will go to the center and live. And I said, no, we are not keeping anybody. Who told you? We are not keeping anybody. Even if she wants to come, we are not keeping anybody. So he said, what is this? I know that you people, no people, nothing. If she plans to come, we are not keeping anybody. I'm telling you this. Baba says it in the Murli. So there is no vacancy here. So Baba says that I do not recommend that you take your children and come and live in the center. No, Baba says, I do not have such a big place. Very small places we have. Baba says, I am asking you to, while you do your business, while you live with your family, just pay attention to the spiritual business also. Yes, just pay attention to your spiritual business also. And you should be spiritually profitable while you're physically profitable. Because if you don't pay attention to this, then what happens is physically you are earning a lot of profit, but then spiritually you are at loss, and then all that you earn physically will go into settling karmic accounts, which you create because you are not spiritually profitable. And how do you pay attention to spiritual profitability? So Baba says that do not engage in any vicious actions through body, mind and wealth. So this is one aspect of being spiritually profitable. And second thing is, engage in actions based on Shrimat through body, mind and wealth. Okay, so there are two things which you have to pay attention to be spiritually profitable, which is through your body, mind and wealth. Do not perform any karma dictated by vices. Okay, so take care of the children, don't get attached. No vices. Yes. Take care of the body, do not engage in lust. Yes. So mind, create thoughts, never create thoughts which are stemming from anger, lust, desire, criticism, complaint. Don't do that. So Baba says you have to pay attention that none of your body, mind and wealth is being used, dictated by vices. Even for money, don't use your money to buy stuff which is dictated by vices. Yes, so don't spend your money on greed and desire and this and that. And Baba says that even while earning money, don't do it out of greed. Yes, so have this understanding that you are a soul and you are doing your karma, and God and Baba is there with you. So don't be greedy, don't cross any line of maryada while earning money, spending money, and neither through your body or your mind. And then Baba says, do what you are asked to do through the body, mind and wealth. So Baba says, through your mind, do mansa seva. Yes, serve through the mind, serve every soul through the mind. Through your body, speak gyan, share gyan, do karmana seva. Yes, cook, offer bhog. Yes, walk in Baba's remembrance, do everything through the body in Baba's remembrance. And through your money, serve the yajna also. Do some yajna seva also. So Baba says, this is how you take care of your spiritual business while taking care of your physical business. And Baba says, this is how you will pave the way forward for yourself. And you see, you have to, so every person has to take care of their creation. So, your body, your children, your family, they have to be taken care of. And for that, you need to earn, you need to do other stuff. That is your worldly business, and you have to do that. But Baba says, if you just do that, then it becomes a problem. So along with that, you have to take care of your spiritual business also. Yes, so Baba has given this Srimad very clearly today, and Baba says it's not that I'm asking you to leave your worldly business or leave anything. No, Baba says no, you stay there, you take care of all. Baba has told us that the Creator is responsible for the creation. Yes, so you gave birth to children, you have to feed them, clothe them, take care of them, give them education, give them spiritual sustenance, but also take care of your spiritual business. So if you use your body, mind and wealth under the influence of vices, or you don't do any seva out of it, then you will not be spiritually profitable. So these are few things that Baba tells us in the Murli today. Om Shanti.